Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to GraceNicoleMyths Astrology and Tarot. We are here for the full moon in Gemini, exposure themed secret code name readings. Now, I have no clue, no clue what is going to come out with these readings. Whatever Spirit needs to expose to you, whether it's about a situation or yourself, or both, I just hold the intention that whatever needs to come through for you in the highest is what comes through. Gemini and energy is all about the face value reality of things. So this may be something that you are immediately dealing with in the present. It might be a situation that you need to see clearly now in the present for what it was at face value so that you can move on, because, you know, full moons are all about release. It's about reaching a climactic point and releasing, right? So especially in terms of communication, all right, because Gemini is the sign that rules the third house of communication. So it might be very significant specifically to the area of your chart that is ruled by Gemini. And we're gonna see. The secret code names are Flash, Glass Slipper, Snowflake, and 3 legs. Okay, 3 legs. And we're going to get into it. I'm using my Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor, and I'm using the Neo Writer Tarot collection. Okay, as well as my Divine Conversation cards. The intention that I held creating this deck was to put you in a divine conversation with Spirit about the divine mirror of your reality, giving you the message you may have missed, right? So we're going to use those for guidance. Timestamps will be in the description and the comments after the live is over. Okay, so starting with secret code name Flash. Oh, before I get into the secret code names, briefly, they are open for 2023. The slots are very limited. I'm doing 4 slots for next year, but they are open on Etsy. I know that the first event on January 6th is already sold out. So if you want to guarantee yourself a slot for a future secret code name event, make sure that you take a stop in the Etsy shop and get yourself one, because when they go, they go. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm opening up additional slots throughout the year. I'm just guaranteeing 4. Okay, so if you want to guarantee yourself a slot, make sure you go and do that. And to everybody who participated in this event and purchased a secret code name, thank you for making these events possible for everybody else. You know, it's not just your healing that you're investing in, but the healing of other people as well who may resonate to these secret code names in divine time whenever the message is meant to cross them. So thank you for being a part of the collective healing ripple. Okay, now getting into the message for Flash, secret code name Flash. Secret code name Flash. Spirit, please. What needs to be exposed? What needs to be exposed? What is in the highest good to expose? Oh. Okay, so we have hostilities. That came out face up. And then we have 2 cards face down. So what is it that you're not seeing? Let's expose it, right? Strategy and anxiety. The strategy, I'm feeling like a part of that is a divine map or a divine plan. Like, it's not without its purpose. The compass is on the card. The energy currency is on the card. Sacred symbols on the card. The key and the keyhole on the card. Divine symphony, there's music notes on the card. Sheet music, rather. And the quill with this blotted ink. It's almost like it's almost like someone, if you look at that ink blot, it's like someone tried to meddle with divine design and kind of blotched it. If you or someone else, because we do have a masculine and a feminine energy here, if your masculine energy or a masculine around you is hostile, if your actions or choices are hostile, it might be because your heart space is in a state of anxiety and or is very upset, because this feminine definitely has like mascara running down her eyes here. Okay. This is a heart space or a feminine energy that is upset or anxious, who's worried, who doesn't like the question marks, right? The heart that doesn't like the question marks, who doesn't like the unknown, who doesn't like the definitive guarantee, knows what's going on, like it doesn't actually, the heart doesn't actually like being up in the air. Bottom of the deck is action. And 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is the archangel of communication. So that's why the 5th chakra is the throat chakra. You may have to communicate with someone or help them understand why your behavior is hostile, because you don't like unknowns, or acknowledge the fact that someone is hostile because they have question marks and they have unknowns, and maybe you're holding answers, and so it's perpetuating this energy of anxiety between the connection, in order to heal communication skills. Let's get some insight, please, Spirit. Like there's this serious fear of potentially being hurt and having your guard up, feeling vulnerable and needing to defend the self. What insight can you give me, please, Spirit? Yeah, we have the 3 of Swords with the Empress. The Hermit card. Maybe one more. 4 more. Let me move these up. All right, so we have the 8 of Cups reversed, the Queen of Cups, the 2 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Coins. Top of the deck is the Hanged Man. All right. I feel like with the 3s, and we've got a lot of 3s, a lot. The 21 here is a 3. Then we've got 3, and we've got 3 here. We've got a 3 here. The Hanged Man is 12. That's a 3. 39 is 12, which is a 3. So, I mean, we've got a lot of 3s, which is a lot of Ascension energy, Ascended Master energy. And 3rd house energy, right? It could be dealing with what's going on in your 3rd house. It could be inner child healing, right? That 3rd, 4th house cusp. That's the IC line. Your 3rd house might be significantly challenged right now with aspects that may have very nice quote-unquote rewards if you override the challenges. It's definitely communication. Like 100% is definitely communication. I'm feeling like there's a certain amount of pain present, okay, on the mind. On the mind, whether it was caused by the specific individual that you're dealing with or a specific group of people, right, is however it resonates for you. But there's a certain amount of pain on the mind. Especially the divine feminine energy within the self, and or a divine feminine counterpart, understanding or recognizing the pain in the divine feminine counterpart that's doing a lot of inner healing, right? There's a lot of inner work going on. We have Taurian energy and Virgoian energy, so you may have significant Taurus or Virgo placements in your chart, or be significantly affected by the Uranus and North Node energy going on in Taurus and the Ceres energy going on in Virgo right now. Whatever this is, despite the fact that pain is on the mind, the 8 of Cups in the reverse, I feel like you want to go back. I feel like you want to go back to someone. Because even though there's pain in the connection, that maybe someone came along and kind of blotched the energy a bit. I'm feeling as if you're seeing things a little differently. Your heart over your head, right, with the Hanged Man. Like your head wants to fight with them, your head wants to push them away, but your heart has more anxiety without them. You have a contract with this person. Even if you were fighting or arguing, it was contracted in order to take leaps of faith. Uranian energy, again, on the 10 of Cups, despite the devil, right? The devil would try and block that 10 of Cups. It's almost like a willingness to heal. After conflict or after argument. And the devil's trying to psych you out. That's Capricornian energy. It could be Pluto in Capricorn. Especially because Pluto in Capricorn is challenging Venus right now. And I believe it's trining Ceres, which is that broken heart chakra energy. It's almost like having to override this feeling of it's lost forever. Because if you can get past the devil that's saying it's lost forever, it'll never work, or it's too difficult, I believe that you have an opportunity to celebrate despite the wounds. I think the wounds are lies being told to the self about, you know, you being juggled or them being juggled, and it's all going to result in heartache and loss again. Like the devil is this fear of losing the joy or losing the celebratory energy. That's what the devil's doing. The devil is the energy that is literally taking away the celebratory joy. And that could be an individual, right? Their presence takes the joy away. Their presence takes the celebration away. And I'm feeling like this is somewhere where you have to choose to rise. The Queen of Cups here, like, even if it's dead, it's not dead. The love's not dead. The Queen of Cups is holding this urn of a chalice. And it's interesting because I've seen this Rider-Waite card so many freaking times in my life. And it almost looks like there's a flame on the urn. Like, yeah, the relationship itself might have reached a point of death. But the flame or the contract between you is eternal. It's not something, it's something that, can, you know, the death can be overridden. The resurrection or the rebirth is possible. That's why you're drawn to go back and communicate and go through these healings. You might seriously be thinking about reaching out to them. But being in a state of pause because there is anxiety, I think you're afraid of more confrontation, that's for sure. Yeah, you need a lot of strength here. Trusting in spirit. Trusting in the joy. Trusting in your ability to be confident that no matter what results, the communication is still necessary per the contract, per the divine plan of things. Like, despite the result, the communication is still necessary. Because you'll be able to move on away from those energies. What is the mirror conversation, Spirit? Because I feel like there's definitely a chance for ignition. You know what I mean? When you go in and look within the self, look within your own shadows, and focus on your healing, I feel like Spirit offers an opportunity to reignite whatever this is, right? The rebirth. It says, codependency and manipulation isn't attractive. It will force highly aligned people out of your reality every time. So the relationship that you may have found yourself in was codependent. Leaning on each other to feel a certain way. Whether the feeling was security, whether the feeling was happiness, whether the feeling was worthy, right? And whenever someone elevates, it forces the misalignment to occur. It forces the separation. You know, if someone is lying or withholding a truth because they want their cake and they want to eat, they want to have their cake and eat it too, you know what I mean? And it's like, but you're not taking the appropriate steps. Manipulation, it has to do with deceit. It has to do with lies and omission. It has to do with leaving out information in order to achieve a certain reality that is not in alignment with the truth and the whole truth. And people lie. When people lie or they omit, it's based in fear. That's what this devil energy is, the fear. Right? It might have been like a 10 of Cups dream, a 3 of Cups celebration, and the devil snuck in and was like, no, you know, like, you have healing to do, and, you know, all of this jazz that popped up, and the juggling, and the loss, and the truth, right? The truth is, it's just anxiety. It's just anxiety about victory. Being afraid to emotionally step up and be happy with the truth in your heart space. Being confused about your Emperor energy. Being confused about your own Emperor energy. That you don't actually need to lie, manipulate, or omit, and likewise for whoever you are dealing with. Right, because you could take it the other way around. Because what we're exposing, right, could be with someone else for you to understand, or for you to understand yourself. We all must acknowledge our mistakes. You let go of someone you shouldn't have and owe an apology. Always right your wrongs. What's fair is justice. You gotta make good on it. If your own fears and your own trauma responses, I did a whole video on this morning. If you missed it, it's about 40 some odd minutes long. And on a real note, like, when we realize that we've been through serious pain, sometimes communicating is terrifying. Sometimes it's terrifying because, you know, you finally recognize the mistakes that you've made, and maybe you're going through the healings and it's too late, and people reject it, or people don't answer, or people ghost, and it's like, it doesn't even matter what the response is. Or if there is a response, it's that it needs to be communicated because you need to acknowledge it. Your soul needs to make the acknowledgement to the other person. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even though it's about them, it's not just about them. It's about your healing and the weight you carry on your soul. If you know that no matter how much pain you feel in the experience with them, that it actually hurts more to be without them, then there's something that you coulda, shoulda, woulda done better in the scheme of things, whether it's reconcilable or not, whether it's fixable or not. whether the blotch can become a part of the divine design and a part of the art, or if it really did screw it up and you got to start over, you know? If our pain jumped the gun, and we were afraid of being happy, and we were afraid of the loss, right? Afraid of the loss of everything that makes us so happy that we sabotaged it, then we have to acknowledge that. And it's probably not one way. Your person or whoever you're dealing with was probably equally afraid of success, equally afraid of being in love or happy or in a state of joy and gratitude, because what if it disappears? And so choices were made that sabotaged it. Choices that could have been made better, right? Decisions or actions that were taken that could have been chosen better. Like, it's all right. You know, we live, we experience, we learn, we self-correct, we grow. Like, if you're growing, then at least you're fucking growing. You know what I mean? Like, give yourself credit for self-acknowledgement and growing. A lot of people don't do that. Growth and healing out of pain is one of the hardest things to do. Acknowledging our own pain, acknowledging our own trauma, acknowledging our own fears and how they have interfered, and then taking corrective actions. How many people you know that do that? How many people you know that are growth oriented? How many times have you stepped up in that kind of energy where you were growth oriented? Like, if you haven't been growth oriented in the past, it's time to be growth oriented now. Whatever you need to communicate, just fucking spit it out. Whatever your imperfections are, whatever your wounds are that we all like to believe don't exist, you know, in this world of social media and platforms, we all like to pretend that everything is picture perfect. We all like to believe that we don't have flaws, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, we make fucking mistakes. Yeah, we do. You're a better person for owning them. At least you fucking owned them. At least you're acknowledging it and growing, because denial is a fucking motherfucker. Denial is the biggest stunt to growth there is. Acknowledgement is the first step. Acknowledgement of the wound is the first step to healing it. You can't treat a wound you won't look at and won't acknowledge. Like, if your leg is bleeding out and you don't acknowledge the fact that your leg is bleeding out, it's going to continue to bleed out and it's going to continue to get worse. It can get infected. It can get whatever. You first have to acknowledge the fact that you have a wound and start to treat it in order for it to heal. Denial makes things worse. So if you need to go back with a different perspective on pain and where it comes from, because you know you deserve to receive better than what manifests from a state of anxiety and hostility, then so be it. And let spirit set off a spark for you. Let spirit set off a spark in the right direction. Mistakes get made. In the healing process, mistakes get made. It's what you do to correct the mistakes. It's not about having the beautiful final result, the 10 of Cups, right away. It's about the process and how you get there. It's about the journey on how you get there. It's about the growth. Because you're going to find who's willing to grow with you, which yields longevity. Like, how the fuck do you think marriages last 50 fucking years? I mean, were they really perfect the whole time? No. Two people decided to frickin' deal with their imperfections and grow together. They decided to get through the hard shit. They learned how to communicate with each other. They learned how to override the pain and acknowledge the fact that life with this person is better than life without them. no matter how many times it took that realization to occur. If you're someone who is willing to grow, that says a lot. That says a lot. Don't be discouraged. Whatever the result is, don't be discouraged. Just know that whatever the communication is, whatever the acknowledgement is, it is an alignment and it is a step in the right direction. Even if you don't know where the path is leading, it's still a step on the right path. A secret code name flash. All right, getting into glass slipper. Secret code name glass slipper. Spirit, please. What in the highest good needs to be exposed to secret code name glass slipper and those who would resonate to it in divine time whenever it's meant to cross their path? With this full moon in Gemini. And if you guys haven't checked out my other channel, 𝐬𝐴urora_myths, I did do a full astrological breakdown of the energies coming out of this full moon. I highly recommend checking it out. I get into a lot of details. All right, glass slipper. What needs to be exposed? Rest and rejuvenation. I feel like there's more. Goddess of the Moon. It did come out reversed. And all tied up. Bottom of the deck is Angel of Strength. That is technically Archangel Ariel. And Yin Yang. All right, with these cards, we do have masculine, feminine energy on the card. I'm sorry, I have to put this back in reverse. Spirit is like, I can't leave it upright. Okay. Fives and twos may be significant for you. I'm feeling like there is a resistance to acknowledging the fact that the feminine heart space or the receptive energy is being tied up. And the reason why the divine feminine energy is tied up, I feel like there's an inability to acknowledge the emotions or the changing of emotions. Like if your emotions have been flip-flopping a lot, especially because Lilith is being fucking Lilith, ping-ponging in and out of Cancer, running through fucking Cancer, direct retrograde. You may need to just pause and silence your thoughts for a minute. Especially because, you know, Goddess of the Moon, Lilith is Black Moon, right? You may need to pop into Selene, right, which is White Moon. It's Selene is in Pisces. You might be resisting your dharma because you're maybe too focused on past karma that you've experienced being in misalignment. This is calling you to find inner balance within the self. And it's literally fire on one side and the moon on the other. Angel of strength is Leo energy, fire, right? Goddess of the moon, Cancerian energy. Let's get some insight. What is this energy about? Spirit, give us some insight, please. Expose it for us. Expose it for us so that we can clearly see and understand. High Priestess, Piscean energy. Five of Cups. We've got the Page of Cups. Then we have the Knight of Wands with the Seven of Swords and the Lovers. Up. Clarify the High Priestess. What's the intuition saying? We've got the Tower with the Four of Wands and the Nine of Cups. Insight into the Five of Cups, please. Clarity on the Five of Cups. We've got the Devil with the Three of Swords and the Two of Swords. Clarity on the Page of Cups. We've got the Fool with the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Wands on top. All right. The bottom of the deck, you want to give everything, or you are very generous and give your all, and it results in self-betrayal. And Spirit is asking you to get in touch with the truth in your heart and to end cycles of confusion and move forward so that you can heal. Truly start your journey. Okay. There's a lot of cards, so bear with. I'm going to just take a minute to kind of absorb what's going on here. See, I think you want the Ten of Cups. I think you want an emotionally mature individual who overflows unconditionally and is willing to manifest the dream with you. Okay. And I think that you give opportunity for that to happen. Like, you give, right? You give and let someone else know it's okay for you to give back to, it's okay for them to give back to you. Right? You don't hesitate to give. That's your way of letting someone know, like, you're invested in them and it's safe to invest in you back. And I feel like this Tower moment, when they don't give back and it ends up being just a wish instead of a dream granted. The 9 that never makes it to the 10, right? This 4 of Wands, you know, quote unquote twin flame fucking energy. I feel like you know that if you're investing in someone to make them feel as if it's okay to invest in you back, that it's already a lost game. It's already a lost investment. And I feel like the loss of the joy. It makes you question your worth and puts you in a stalemate kind of position where you don't know what to do. Because you've taken the loss, right? They didn't invest. You invested to let them know that they could invest. And when they don't invest back, you end up taking the loss. There may even be situations where, you know, this person might apologize because, you know, maybe they miss the way you love them. And so you take a leap of faith on it, but you're kind of in this mental rest and rejuvenate with them, like you're not necessarily ready to go back all in, and it causes fights or it causes arguments and more separation because you're not over giving like you were before. You held back because your initial investment was already a loss. Yeah, the heart space is tied up. And the masculine is in a rest and rejuvenate space. You know, your head space, your thoughts, your actions are in a space of pause. Because your heart space is like, I already invested though. Like if someone comes back and they're sorry, it's because they really need to step up and start investing in the return. Because you can't invest further. You know what I mean? It's almost, you can't continue to invest blindly without any reciprocity. It's like you put everything on the table. This 9 of Cups can sometimes denote drinking. because it's an indulgent Piscean energy. So you may deal with people who indulge in vices. They invest more in their vices than they do you, whatever their vices are. You know, metaphorically speaking, they're not energetically sober. The Knight of Wands is player energy, or someone who is still very young in soul, very young in spirit. They haven't experienced enough yet. I think you're investing in a matured potential of someone, their king or their emperor energy that you see. But the reality is they're not there yet. They have not reached their potential yet. They haven't matured into the King of Wands that has the willpower and has the drive and has the creative power to go after what they want and invest in what they want. It's like trying to have a relationship with the college frat. And they're just looking at all their different options and all the different things that they could do. And they're not actually acknowledging the investment that you're making, or the strength and trust it takes to make those kinds of investments. With the Lovers card there, they may have stronger significant Gemini in energy, or Gemini in wounding. We have Piscean energy on the board. We have Mars energy on the board. Capricorn energy on the board, that's Saturnian. And Gemini energy on the board, and Uranian energy, Uranus energy. Aries and Aquarius. I think you have a habit of over-investing, being disappointed, taking someone back or giving them a second chance in order to potentially receive the return, and the return's not showing up. They're not coming back for the right reasons. And I think you know that. I think you know on some level that you're investing in people that are not ready. You're investing in someone's potential instead of the reality of someone. You know what I mean? You're taking someone for face value where they are spiritually, energetically on the process of things. And trust me, I get it. I get it. Especially if you're a high priestess, you see the ultimate potential of people. You see the possibility of the happy ending. You see the mature king energy of someone, the Ace of Cups, the ability to manifest the beautiful dream and live the dream with someone when they're in their high king energy. But the fact of the matter is they're indulgent. They're still dealing with their demons. They're not sure of themselves. They haven't graduated yet to king status. They're still a knight. You know, a king energy knows that like lying is nothing good ever comes of it. You know what I mean? Lies, big or small, omissions, big or small, nothing ever good comes from it. A king understands that and won't do it. But a knight, lying's no big deal. Doesn't everybody do it? Who cares? They don't understand the value, right? They don't understand the value of what it means for someone to invest in them, to see them, to see their best despite the fact that they're not at it. You know what I mean? What's the divine conversation Spirit's having with you that you may be missing? You know what I think? I don't. And you should give it a try. Trust your gut, your soul on this one. Your addictions have, are, and will continue to hurt you more than you realize. You can't afford the kind of pain they are yet to bring. The divine intervenes. Intuit it out. Like if you already know that someone has potential, then if they have potential, then they haven't reached, they haven't got on your level. They're not on your level. You know, we're talking about glass slipper being the secret code name, right? This very Cinderella energy. Maybe you haven't reached your own potential yet. Maybe you are, you know, Cinderella and are worthy of the prince, right? You're worthy of the greatest love there is, royalty status. You're worthy of being the queen. And yet your own energy, you feel like a fucking servant to abusive people. Like you're constantly in service to abusive energy, to try and help these abusive energies heal. The evil stepmother and evil stepsisters. Metaphorically speaking, right? Feminine energy is abusive heart spaces. You might have some serious reflection to do in your own inner child. Goddess of the moon, you might need to reflect in your own wounds growing up where you felt like you weren't seen or you were devalued, that you're constantly trying to heal that by attracting people that don't see your value and wanting them to see your value because it would quote unquote heal that, when the reality is you just have to see your own value and live in that value. You don't need their validation, that all that you're offering and all that you're putting on the table is good enough. Of course it's good enough. It's your everything. Of course it's good enough. Sometimes you got to call in like your magic, your fairy godmother, or your ancestors, you know, Archangel Ariel, for some strength. And just be in your beautiful Ella energy. Remember that you're worthy of the best. You're worthy of the king. You know what I mean? You don't need to fuck around with these knight energies. You invest because of your value. You know your value, and so you put your value out there. The problem is you're trying to have people that don't see the value see it. Like they're fucking blind. You can't make the blind see. You just got to find someone who sees. You know? Who your energy leaves an impression on, that they would search high and low for you, you know? That they would find the owner of the glass slipper, hell or high water. And it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what your background was. It doesn't matter who you were or what you dealt with. And they just see you for the beautiful energy that you are, because you left that beautiful impression on them. There's more knights in the world than there are kings, you know what I mean? Don't be discouraged because you're running into a bunch of knights. For your heart space up to actually receive what you want to receive, like meditate on it, take a break, ease your mind, get back in touch with your own energy, your own sovereignty, rebalance yourself, remember the good karma that you have coming to you. And trust that it will come to you, that you don't have to make it happen. You don't have to invest to show somebody that it's safe to invest. Someone who it's safe for you to invest in is going to let you know the same thing. They're going to be like you. They're going to invest. They're going to put their all out there. They're going to trust you. And you will know, High Priestess, you will know it. You can trust them. Because they're showing you actions, choices, behaviors that you take. All right. Secret code name. Snowflake. Getting in a secret code name, Snowflake. All right. Spirit, please. What needs to be exposed? What is in the highest good to expose right now? For secret code name Snowflake and those who would resonate to this message in divine time whenever it's meant to cross their path. Whoa. The sun, blossoming abundance, and the door to personal healing and happiness. Card number 1, 3, and 34. Patience on the bottom. And the thinking man on top. We've got multiple ones because 46 breaks down to a 10, which is 1. We've got multiple 7s because 16 breaks down to a 7, and so does 34. We've got multiple 3s and 4s. So 3s, 4s, 1s, 7s might all be synchronistic for you. This masculine is thinking on a crystal. He's holding this beautiful crystal in his hand and thinking and staring into the crystal. It's crystal gazing. It's King of Swords type energy. Aquarian energy. You may even want to consider looking into devas, which are the guardians of crystals, guardians of the earth. Patience is temperance energy. She's holding a clock. And it's 10:10 on the clock. So 10:10 might be a significant date and or time. If you keep seeing 10:10 on the clock, there's completions and beginnings simultaneously happening for you. It's just a matter of time. Archangel Raphael is underneath of that. 38 breaks down to an 11. Fourth chakra is heart healing. I do feel like your heart is going through a healing process and it's taking time, which, you know, you need to be patient with yourself. The sun is beautiful energy, right? This is literally basking in the sunlight, bathing in love energy, taking time to wash off the past and allow yourself to be in the overflowing cup of the universe, to be a part of the overflow, and or accepting that you've been a part of the universe's overflow, that you are a being of the light, that light is naturally your archetype. The book is here, it's the Akashic record. There's paintbrushes here. You are the creator of your life. There's a tuba here, you know, it's indicative of soul song. And that your soul song is deep. I'm also getting this message of positive self-speech or giving yourself words of empowerment. We've got blossoming abundance here and the door to personal healing and happiness. Something is about to open wide up for you, whether you realize it or not. And Spirit wants you to know that. Like if you've been doing a lot of thinking, if you've been doing a lot of healing, if you've had to have and exude a lot of patience, there's a major payoff coming. Like we have the dove here and peacock here. Peacock is very Kuan Yin type energy. Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy and compassion and forgiveness. The dove is spirit, right? And peace. I think the universe and you in general, your energy is ready for peace. It's ready for mercy. Especially if you've been what is essentially an earth angel for some time, overflowing from spirit for other people who needed that love energy but weren't necessarily capable of returning it. That you are being called to be a part of spirit's overflow for a time. Which does feel like it drains the self after a while. And I feel like the mercy is coming in. The compassion from spirit is coming in. That you would show those energies, mercy and compassion for yourself. That you would accept and embrace a door open to receiving your peace. Forgiving yourself and others for the path that needed to be taken, right? The history and the story. But that you're painting a new, beautiful picture now. What's the insight into this, please, Spirit? Secret coding Snowflake. Because if you think about Snowflake and Snowflake energy, like they're all very unique. No snowflake is alike. You know what I mean? Clarities, please. We've got the 9 of Pentacles, the 2 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands. I mean, the 5 of Wands for a total of 7 Wands. 9 of Coins, 2 of Wands, 5 of Wands. I had a feeling I was going to get a story. 10 of Coins is on the bottom. 4 of Wands on top. This is about your dream reality. You being able to think on it and visualize it and see it is what's bringing it into manifest. We got the 6 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, the Star card, the 6 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands, which totals 9 Wands on either side of the Star card. You know, the 4 of Wands is Venusian energy and Aryan energy. It's very much a self-love energy, that inner union energy, that embracing the dream energy to personal healing and happiness. It's really what the 4 of Wands is about. The journey to embracing healing and happiness. I feel like you've been solo, and that you've had to move forward from a lot of things that left you feeling wounded. That it's been a battle to fight victim mentality. And right now you might be healing, what is this? Essentially stagnancy, right? This patience energy and the 2 of Wands. Because if you see the two wands, it looks like a pause symbol. Like if you think about old school like stereos or, you know, pausing a video, it's the 2 bars. It's pause. I think you've been on pause. Your manifestation's been on pause. And you've been healing in the pause. You've been healing in the solo path. Having to move forward before the burdens become overwhelming, right? The crosses that we bear of other people. I'm feeling like spirit is pouring out for you, but it's upstream, like it hasn't necessarily reached you yet. I think you've been doing a ton of inner work. A lot of visualization and acknowledgement of what it is that you actually desire to manifest. Like you might seriously have the patience of a saint. And your heart is healing. Your heart is healing because I think there's this fear of the storm, right? That if you were to walk through that door to personal healing and happiness, that the storm would hit it. But you want this, you know, happy family, 10 of coins energy. You want the abundance, the cornucopia. You want the balance. I think the reason why you've been solo for a while is because you truly haven't found someone who doesn't need healing. Because I feel like you're a healer. A goddess of mercy and compassion type thing. Patience of a saint. And I think you've been having quite a time finding someone who doesn't need healing. Because this 5 of Wands, you know, it's the inner conflict that you have about opening up that door, the victory of the journey. Feeling like there's always further to go. I think you have to take a leap of faith on winning and allow yourself to open up that door. Like if you're an earth angel here and you have the patience of a saint and you've been doing all this healing for other people, you have to understand and recognize the fact that you are not the only one like that in the world, that other people of your vibration exist. You just haven't run into them yet. Doesn't mean they don't exist. You've been running into a lot of people that require healing, and I think that you've been doing a lot of your own inner healing, almost like purging your energy, clearing out your energy, right? This like quartzy type crystal, clearing out your energy. From all of the energy of other people that you've taken. What's the guidance? What is the divine conversation in the mirror that you may be missing? Yeah. Your addictions have, are, and will continue to hurt you more than you realize. You can't afford the kind of pain they are yet to bring, right? Divine intervention, which is why you've been solo. An addiction to healing, right? To being the healer instead of being the healed. Because if you're constantly healing other people in the divine mirror of things, then you are also in need of the same healing that you're giving. And there's this addiction to being the healer instead of being the healed, right? Which is why I think you've been focusing on yourself. Spirit saying, you are one of my angels here. You haven't actually made any mistakes. Do as you are guided from here. Darling, you are more capable than you've given yourself credit for. Simply commit forever, now, and always. This card says open in the background, and it says open your mind, right? The thinking man, open your mind. What if you were them and lived their experiences and were dealing with you? Eyes open with compassion. What if they don't like being looked at like they're wounded and need healing? And here you are giving the best healing there is, but yet they don't actually want to view themselves as damaged despite what they've lived through. The denial that they're in, no different than the denial you're in with the experiences that you've dealt with and lived through. you know, working on the healing of other people and the giving to other people and the earth angel work. When you, in fact, are the one that need the healing. What if you were offering all this healing and they didn't ask for it? And then you were upset when they didn't receive it, feeling like you failed. But they weren't necessarily open to receiving it. No different than you have not been open to receiving your own healing with yourself. Healing with, you know, with your outer experience and moving into that happiness state. Showing yourself mercy, like they're not showing themselves mercy and compassion and healing, and it's because in Divine Mirror you weren't doing the same. You weren't giving yourself the mercy and compassion to let these people that quote unquote need healing go. And so the pause, you know, Spirit put you on pause from the healing work with other people. They've had you solo because you don't need to be healing others right now or anymore. You need to focus on your own healed state so that you can manifest a healed reality with healed people. You don't have to be the healer anymore. That chapter of the book has closed. Feeling like you need to be the healer. You don't have to do that anymore. This is your new book. This is your chapter of healing. This is your story where you are now in a healed space and you're not wearing that hat anymore. Yeah, you spent a good portion of your experience focusing on the healing of other people, trying to be the beauty in the life of other people, and now it's your time to be the beauty in your own life for yourself. And to embrace the beauty of healed people that don't need healing. Like your work is done. You are one of my angels here. You haven't actually made any mistakes. Do as you are guided from here. Like, give if you're guided to give, but don't ever feel like you have to, because, you know, you have this gift of empathy. I think this is just simply a matter of redirection. Hold compassion for yourself. You know, even with the secret code name being Snowflake, you know, this patience card is, you know, the trees in the background, they're covered in snow. She looks very much like a winter angel. They bring the light, they bring the fire and divine time into the cold of people. They bring passion and spark and fire and inspiration to the table for people who are literally in the winter of their creation, where people are stagnating, frozen. You try and bring the warmth and have found yourself in a very uniquely icy situation where you gotta bring the fire back to yourself and warm yourself. And when you do that, I think everything opens. You don't have to wear that healing hat anymore. You keep focusing on your positive visualizations. You keep tuning into your divine tools like crystals and grounding and washing it all off and showing yourself some mercy. That being the quote-unquote healer is not your job anymore. You've completed that task. You've completed the task. All you have to do now is simply give yourself credit and commit to your healing. The experience of your healing and what that looks like. All right, simply commit. to the fact that you are in a healed state and don't need to heal anymore. All right. That is secret code name Snowflake. All right, secret code name, 3 legs. Secret code name, 3 legs. And it's interesting because I got the visualization for this code name as like a tripod. But the secret code name was definitely coming through as 3 legs and not tripod. And there's all these different symbols that come along with 3 legs, from like a 3-legged race to being, well, we all know where I could go with that. We all know where I could go with that. Being, we'll say, hung like a horse. But 3 legs, it came through as 3 legs. You might be collaborating with some very masculine, get work done, manifest, teamwork type energy. If you lose your balance with 2 legs, 3 legs is a little more stable. You know what I mean? It's like giving yourself a little extra help, like it wouldn't hurt. Like it's easier to fall off a bike than it is a tricycle, you know what I mean? So secret code name, 3 legs. Rest and rejuvenate and woman holding a heart. 19 and 44. This is 4 of Swords energy and Queen of Cups energy. I feel like what you create from your heart space, what you emotionally invest in, what you're passionate about, is very sacred to you. To where you're not impulsive at all when it comes to your manifestation and how you create. I think you feel through it thoroughly before you move forward. Whether that's relationship dynamics or creative endeavors, or even as a mother. That you take a lot of pride in what you create because it comes from your heart space. You take your time. And you definitely don't like being rushed or put under pressure. Bottom of the deck again is patience. And the garden and the gate. The garden and the gate is about understanding that where you are is beautiful. But there's a whole vastness of a world out there that's beyond the gate. And you hold the key to opening it up. I'm also feeling like if you are in a creative endeavor, like you really have to make sure that you're the one calling the shots on how you manifest it from your heart, because putting the control in someone else's hands to help manifest it, and them not being in alignment with your heart when it comes to it could skew it. Like, you trust your heart and your intention in the creation of something. I wouldn't necessarily trust somebody else with your soul baby kind of creation. Really, my heart chakra feels like it's spitting out of my chest right now. Archangel Raphael again on the bottom. Man holding a heart. I think someone who... I think this is an acknowledgement, especially because storm warning is under that. That everybody has their own intention, everybody has their own purpose, everybody has their own idea of what they want to create. And if they want to ride your creative coattails, they really need to just simply create on their own. Instead of taking control of your heart's creation. Like, they might think your ideas are great and they're trying to like run with it, you know what I mean? But they're running in a direction that you might not necessarily want them to run with it with. Like, even if their goals are similar to yours, how they go about it might be different. And if this is something that is sacred to you, a creation that is sacred to you, then you really need to, it's almost like expressing like, listen, I appreciate your enthusiasm and how much you are invested in my creation. But there's a reason why it's my creation, and the divine is guiding me specifically to this vision being made manifest. And if you're inspired by it, then be inspired by it, but be inspired to create your own and not necessarily try and take control of mine. Like, you're not willing to have someone force their ideas or their intentions on your creation. Like, it might be a thing where, like, the teamwork is inspiration. The teamwork is working together as souls to create beautiful results. But it's like, it's not a dick measuring contest. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about who gets credit for the creation. It's about embracing the idea that the creation is authentic. And that it needs to remain authentic for a reason. Like, you have this soul creation, and it's your baby, and it's like someone else is trying to do so much work that they would be taking credit for its success, and it's like, that's not... I'm feeling put off by that. It's not that their ideas aren't necessarily good or inspiring. It's just you've got to be able to do it on your own time. Like, you can't be rushed by their excitement. If they're super excited and don't want to wait for you to start making moves, then they should probably just start their own creation and be inspired by you, right, for their own authentic creation. Give me some insight, please, Spirit. Secret code name 3 legs. What needs to be exposed? The 2 of Wands, the Star, the 2 of Swords reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed. Give me some clarity, please. Yeah, like that garden and the gate, nobody else is holding the key. You have the key around your neck. It's the throat chakra. It's your creation. The throat chakra is the creative hub. Really, it's almost like someone is seriously giving you a hard time. We got the 7 of Wands on the bottom with the Sun on top. Like, you know your vision. You know your vision. You know what you're creating. You know what you want to create. You don't necessarily know all of the steps on how you're going to create it yet, but you're meditating on it. You're taking your own divine guidance. You know what I mean? And this pause that you're in is healing. You're not unclear or indecisive when you reject opportunities that people are presenting to you. Like, you might be getting ideas from other people and ideas from other people, and you're like, no, it's not resonating. It's not resonating. It's not that it's a bad idea. It's just not resonating with me and my creation. It's not in alignment with exactly what I want to create. People are looking at you like your inability to choose is a detriment. When really, I think you're divinely aligned with the love you're putting into something. You know, I was talking about the 4 of Wands being Venusian, Aryan energy. This is a self-love project, a self-love pursuit, a self-love manifestation. Your heart knows the truth. I think what you're looking at is a lot of other people with inner child wounds. And they're fogging everything up. They're giving you all of these fucking options and none of them resonate. There's a reason why none of them resonate. Like, Spirit will give you whatever it needs to give you in divine time. It's about you defending yourself, taking a leap of faith, you know, in face of the conflict, which is like this obsessive devil energy that is literally like, you need to be able to look and act from your heart space. This is your journey. You miss opportunities when you're in that self-sabotage mode. With these sacred soulmates, you just need your alone time. You just need your alone time. People are in this energy of, you know, begging. And I think if you stick to your guns, right, that Queen of Cups, woman holding a heart, Queen of Cups, I think if you stick to your guns, that's the Wheel of Fortune, that's the change of fate, that's the Ace of Wands, the inspiration. That's you holding on to your creation and turning it into the King of Pentacles. Like, you'll decide when something's not good enough. Instead of letting other people, like, steal your fire and transforming it into something that, you know, wasn't what you wanted to communicate. And having to walk away from it and start from scratch because it's not fulfilling. The manifestation was not fulfilling. Has too many other people's energies on it. The fucking truth of the matter is, like, the process is a slow process, but it's authentic. And if you need a break from other people, then you need a break from other people. Because this is about you being in your own emotionally creative space and mastering your own manifestation. It's like, I feel like you're flattered that so many people are inspired by it and so many people want to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, it's like, if they're a part of it, it's because you asked them to do something that you chose to have done. Giving someone else the reins, though, like, that's not what the fuck you're doing. You're not handing over the reins to anybody, and they don't like it. And it's almost like they're making you feel inadequate. Or they're impressing this energy upon you, projecting their own inadequacy, that they can't start a love child making of their own creation. You know what I mean? That they're trying to impress themselves on yours because they're inadequate and don't know where to start. They don't know how to be inspired from within. So they're taking your inspiration and just trying to make it theirs. And that's, you're like, nah, fuck that. Be aware if other people are projecting their own inadequacy at you and they're making you feel like you're inadequate when you're not. You're taking your fucking time, and for good reason, because what you're creating is important to you. It's coming from the heart. You're emotionally invested in what you're creating. Handing over the reins is like handing over your heart to someone and not knowing if their intention is in alignment with its healing and its health. You know, like, they could break it. What's the divine conversation being had, Spirit, for secret code name 3 legs that they may be missing in the divine mirror of things? What is the conversation going on in their divine mirror that they may be missing? Yeah. It says, you know you are wasting your money spending it on the wrong things. Help yourself. Pay off your debts and save. That could be literally or metaphorically speaking. Like, don't keep investing in something if it's piling on more debt and the debt's giving you anxiety. If your creation requires you to pay off what you owe first so that you don't feel anxiety investing further, then you need to do that. We all must acknowledge our mistakes. You let go of someone you shouldn't have and owe an apology. Always right your wrongs. What's fair is justice. You may have been right about everyone else in your life, but not them. It's okay. And they mean well, but they are wounded. Keep taking their guidance, and you are only wounding yourself. As far as this goes, because this could be a creative project. It could be work related. It could be passion related. It could also be love related. Like if you did let go of someone who was in alignment with your heart space because someone was filling your head with them being inadequate or them not being up to par, and you let them go and you were taking the advice from a wounded person, you might need to backtrack, because I think your heart was right about them being different. Like anybody saying, invest in this, don't invest in that, do it this way, do it that way. If you don't do it this way, you're going to regret it. Take my advice. I'm going to judge you or be offended if you don't. Like, those people have to go. You need to be able to listen to your own heart space and create what you want to create. Whether it's a healthy relationship dynamic or a healthy experience or a healthy environment, like you need to be able to create freely on your own, without the 2 cents of a peanut gallery or a person who is vicariously trying to live through you and heal their mistakes through you, when you're not living their life and you're not living your life for them. We've got Leo energy and Aquarian energy on the board. So that polarity might be significant. And we have Piscean energy, also Cancerian energy on the board. Yeah, you might need a serious break from someone who is trying to dictate your choices to live vicariously through you, trying to heal their mistakes or their wounds through you, instead of just letting you live your life. Like, seriously, if they would be offended because you didn't take their fucking advice, then they're not in alignment. You need to be able to listen to your own heart so that you don't end up feeling like a victim, investing in the wrong people or the wrong things. I think you've put yourself potentially in a very comfortable garden space, but you really do need to break out and allow yourself to live your life. This is your life. Your life to create and love. Allowing somebody else to create your life for you or dictate your life for you, like, yeah, they might love your life and they might love your choices, but do you? Because it really doesn't matter if they love your life if you don't. It's your life. It's not your fault if they don't love theirs and they are vicariously trying to live yours through you. Live their life the way they want it through you. Especially if this person's benefiting from you. And they don't want you to move forward because they lose some kind of benefit to your presence. You might need to go take a break and spend some time out in nature and just breathing the fresh air. Like if you can go to a river, if you can go to some place where there's beautiful scenery and just take it all in and let your energy be sovereign and figure it out, what it is that you really want to do despite everything and everybody else. Like if you think about a 3-legged race, you can go a lot faster from start to finish if you weren't tied to somebody else, in all fairness. You might have to seriously let somebody go and potentially reconnect with someone that you let go of because of that person. Either demanding it or filling your head with ideas about them or convincing you it's a better idea that if they're not around, when really your heart and soul was always kind of pulled in that direction. Like, you just need to call your own shots. You need to call your own shots. It's your life. Don't feel fucking guilty or ashamed or judged by anybody for living your best life. Your story is not their story. But if you continue to make decisions based off of them, you will live their story, and their story is trying to vicariously live through someone else because they obviously didn't live their best life. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that person that didn't live their best life. Take chances, take risks, trust yourself, trust what your heart wants, trust what it wants to manifest, trust the healing, trust the joy, trust the stability, trust your dream, trust your authenticity. Be courageous and stand up for yourself. Your spirit. There's a reason why nothing they're suggesting is truly resonating. It's because it's not the way. It's not authentic. They're eclipsing your light. The moon in front of the sun on this card, they're eclipsing your light. It doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that they are not a healed person. And they're not going to lead you with their advice to a beautifully healed life. They don't even know how to heal their own. Be your own guru. 44. Be your own guru. You're the master artist. And that is the message. That is secret code name 3 legs. So guys, I appreciate your presence here. It's been awesome. I've had a good time at helping you guys see whatever it was that needed to be exposed. I do hope you check out 𝐦𝘂𝗫𝗿, the channel, my second channel, 𝐦𝘂𝗫𝗿, and take a look into the breakdown of the astrology for this full moon. It's posted. It posted earlier today. And I will see you next time. Love and gratitude to all of you. Take care.